Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words, become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're entering the land of social skills along with emotional intelligence to talk about the law of reciprocity. When you give, you get back. But in regards to the law of reciprocity, a lot of us have what I call the McDonald's mindset. We view it a little too transactional, and when we give and we don't immediately get something back, we feel as though this law of reciprocity thing is a bust. I would like to share a story of a time when a wallet taught me a lot about what it means to give and what it means to get back, and a couple of misconceptions in regards to the law of reciprocity. I'm going to tell you the wallet story, and from there, we're eventually going to decode it. So if you're ready and excited, hit that like for me right on below, and let's get started. There was this one day, I was trying to record this podcast episode, and anything that could go wrong was going wrong. The audio kept messing up. There was all these sounds that were happening nearby, a water sound, a lawn mowing guy turning his lawnmower on, off, a couple arguing outside of me. Things were just going wrong. Roughly around 45 minutes passing on by, there comes a certain point where silence, dead silence. And when I noticed the dead silence, I noticed that this was my time to get this episode done. So I began recording. Everything's going smooth. I'm in the last 35 seconds of this episode, and suddenly I hear a knock on my door. I'm thinking, damn, that was so close to being done. Agitated, I get up, I walk to my door, and I look through the tiny little peephole. As soon as I look through the peephole, I see a guy who lives on the top floor standing outside. I'm thinking, what are you doing here? I've never spoken to you before. Heck, anytime I see you walking your dog, I look the other way. No disrespect or anything. It's just I don't want to make small talk with you. So why are you outside my door right now? I'm looking through the peephole. I'm thinking, I'm not going to answer. And I'm thinking that this guy is going to go away. But he doesn't go away. Instead, he begins to knock more. And this time, he's knocking aggressively. Still, I'm not opening the door. And he starts to knock even more aggressively. I'm thinking, dude, what are you doing? Go away. Take the hint. I'm not trying to open the door for you. But I'm pretty sure he noticed that there was someone on the other side of the door that was staring through the peephole. So he did something bizarre. He gets a wallet and he starts to wave it in front of the peephole like this. And I'm looking at this wallet and I'm thinking, this wallet looks just like my wallet. Wait a minute. Is that my wallet? And I look to the normal place that I keep my wallet, and that normal place is empty. Wait a minute. This guy has my wallet. I suddenly open the door and I'm like, hey, what's good, bro? And in a very joking way, he's like, did someone lose a wallet? Because this guy, and he shows me the driver's license, looks just like you. I was like, yeah, man, where did you find it? And apparently after I came back from the gym, the wallet fell out of my pocket and it was lying right next to my car. This guy saw the wallet and he brought it back to my place. By the way, I'm one of the worst people to steal a wallet from because I'm never carrying any cash. However, I wanted to hook this guy up. I was like, just stay here for 2 minutes. I'm going to go to the ATM and I'm going to get you some money. As soon as I brought that up, he's like, no, bro, don't worry about it, man. If I ever drop my wallet, I would want someone to return it for me. And then he left. When he left like that, there was a feeling in my body where I was thinking, nah, man, I really wanted to give you some money right now. I wanted to see the joy in your eyes when you got that money for giving me my wallet back. but he just walked away. And after that moment, whenever I would see this guy walking around with his dog, I'd give him one of these very weird head nods, like, because what else could I do? I wanted to do this guy a favor, but he wasn't asking for a favor. And I felt as though I had all this energy and it was getting released through these weird head nods. Over a year would pass, and one day I'm just chilling and something strange happens. I aggressively hear someone knocking on my door. This time I go look through the peephole and I see it's the gentleman that dropped off my wallet. Immediately I open the door and I'm like, "What's up, bro? You need some help?" And in a very worried face, he's like, "Yeah, dude, I actually do need some help. I just got locked out of my apartment. Do you mind if I use your cell phone to call my locksmith?" I ran to my phone, I gave it to him, and I was like, "Bro, talk on it as long as you need." He talked on it for roughly 2 minutes, and he gave it back to me, and he said, "Thank you, bro. I tried to knock on all these other doors, but no one opened. I really appreciate your favor." Then he walked away. As soon as he walked away, I could feel good because I had given something back. And this was a moment when the law of reciprocity occurred. See, for a lot of people in regards to the law of reciprocity, they view it in a very clean sort of way. They view it in a very logical sort of way. Let's say you're a very logical person and you see that this guy gave another person the lost wallet back. What do you think a logical person would say that this guy who gave the wallet back will eventually get? A logical person will say, well, one day this guy is also going to lose his wallet and a good Samaritan is going to return it. Or the logical guy will say, well, one day this guy who returned the wallet will get some money. They're going to be thinking in very rational terms. But if you look at the story, what happened was this guy gave me my wallet back, and in return, he got a desired phone call. That's not something that a logical person would be expecting. And notice another thing in regards to the story. This guy had to wait roughly a year before he got his gift back. He didn't get it immediately. A lot of people with the law of reciprocity have that McDonald's mindset. They give something and they immediately expect to get something back. And when they don't immediately get something back, they're like, "Fam, I'm telling you, this thing doesn't work." So the two things from the story that you need to understand is often when we do give something, we will get it back in a different form than we were expecting. And we really need to be mindful of the different form aspect, because a lot of the times we will get something back, but if we have a presupposition in our mind of it's supposed to be this, sort of like that logical guy, then we'll be getting things back left and right, but we'll be completely blind to it. So the first lesson is it may often come back in a form that you were not expecting. The second lesson is that when you are going to get something back, it could either happen immediately or it could take a year, sort of like it happened with this Good Samaritan. Which makes you think, wait a minute, is it going to take me a year too? I don't know, because I said the law of reciprocity is very messy in nature. And due to the messiness, any form of predictions that are trying to happen is simply an illusion. It's not really meaning much. You could rationalize this is going to happen as much as you want, but due to the complexity of it, all the predictions out there are simply an illusion. So what does this mean? So if we cannot predict when we are going to get something back or what form it's going to come back in, we need to focus even more on the attitude. The attitude goes like this. Let me tell you the wrong way to give. A lot of people, when they're giving, they're thinking about taking, and when they're taking, they're thinking about giving. This is the wrong way to do it. The right way to do it is when you give, you give. When you take, you take. That's it. When this guy was giving me my wallet back, He wasn't over here thinking, okay, I'm gonna give him his wallet back, but as soon as I give him his wallet back, what am I going to get in return? What am I gonna get in return? Nothing in return? Oh, then I'll steal from the wallet, right? He didn't do that. Instead, he's like, oh wait, a lost wallet, let me give it back. And then a year goes on by. Hey, you are going to give me a phone call? Great. So when you give, give. When you take, take. Rather than when you're giving, you're thinking about taking. When you're taking, you're thinking about giving. All right? So that's the law of reciprocity. Let's just do a quick little recap. The recap is that the law of reciprocity is very messy in nature, and any forms of predictions are often going to be inaccurate. What will often happen is that we will give, and plenty of times we will get something back, but it will come in the form that we were not initially expecting. Plus, the time frame is very ambiguous in nature. Due to the messiness of the law of reciprocity, we need to make sure that we're operating with the right attitude rather than focusing on the outputs too much. The right attitude is when you give, give, and when you take, take. Do this in harmony, and you have mastered the transaction of life. If you enjoyed today's talk, go on and drop that like for me right on below, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me.